we're going to be doing something a little bit differently today. Recently, the 2025 Edgar Award nominees were announced. The Edgar Awards are for the mystery and thriller genre. I have been waiting to look at who the nominees are so that we could look at them together for the main fiction categories. I was waiting until we were all together so I could give you some live reaction of my thoughts about who the nominees are this year, what my reading plans are going to be, and whether or not I will be trying to guess this year's winners. Hello and welcome back to Valerie Geary's Book Nook. I'm Valerie Geary. I'm so glad you've decided to join me today to talk about books. I've had a few new subscribers in the past few weeks, which is absolutely delightful. Hello, welcome. I'm so glad you are here joining me today. Thank you for taking a chance on my cozy little corner of the internet. But there are some of you who have been with me from the very beginning, some of you who know that this time of year when they release the Edgar Award nominee shortlist, that is the time of year that I start to read through those nominees and try to guess the winner. I've been posting book videos sporadically for about 4 years, since 2021, but I didn't really start looking at the Edgar Awards until 2022. That is when I posted my first video where I read through 3 of the major categories. I thought it would be a one-off, and then I just kind of got hooked on reading through the shortlist. I love the mystery thriller genre, and this was a good way to get to know new authors and new books and just find out what the genre was doing over the past year. And I have done some kind of iteration of reading the Edgar Awards ever since. Feel free to check out the playlist in the comments. You can go all the way back to 2022 and find out how often I am right about guessing the winner. Spoiler, I'm not very good at it. But maybe you'll find some mystery favorites in those videos. I know that I certainly did as I was reading through those books. The Edgar Awards are put on by the Mystery Writers of America, a group of which I am not affiliated in any way other than I love the mystery genre. I am not a member, nor are they paying me to talk about the Edgar Awards or read through any of the nominations. I have not received any free books from them yet. I'm available for free copies of books if they would like to send those at some point in the future. Nudge, nudge, hint, hint. But for right now, I am just a mystery genre lover, and the Edgar Awards are a great way for me to find new books and new authors. Let's dive in and see what's going on with the 2025 Edgar Award nominees. I don't know about you, but I have been waiting for this list to post for weeks. I am not sure what I'm going to be doing, whether I'm going to be reading through these or not, because as you know, if you have been watching the videos on my channel, this year I am trying to read through all the books that I own. I'm trying to read down my own TBR, and I can assure you that I do not own any of these. I don't think I purchased any mystery novels in 2024 that would count. We're going to take a look together and find out, and then I'm going to try and make a plan, because I told myself I wasn't going to buy any books in the first quarter. I told myself I wasn't going to check out any books from the library, and obviously if I'm going to be reading through the Edgar Award nominees, that throws everything into chaos. But let's first dive in and see who the nominees are for this year. I'm excited. Let's go. It's looking good, looking good. I am excited. I'm just doing a quick skim of the website to look at all the different categories that are there. Now, the Edgar Awards also include short stories, it includes nonfiction, it includes scripts from television shows, it includes kids' books as well. There is a lot going on. I tend to focus on the best American novel, so the main Edgar Award for fiction, the best debut novel, because I love finding a new author, and I have in the past read the best paperback original, because those tend to be kind of more under the radar books. There are also other categories like best young adult, best juvenile fiction. There is a Mary Higgins Clark Award for books that are reminiscent of that style of the genre. There is a Sue Grafton Memorial Award, and a Lillian Jackson Braun Memorial Award, which I think is like the cozy mystery genre, which I haven't actually ever read. And I'm thinking this year might be a fun year to check out that category since I haven't done that one yet. Let's go through it from the top. So the best novel nominees. Oh boy. What? I thought it was a list of like 10 books, but they were just like, they had it on one page and then they were just, I don't know. It is a lot of books. It is, again, 7 books nominated for Best Novel. We have The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett, Rough Trade by Katrina Carrasco, Things Don't Break on Their Own by Sarah Esther Collins, My Favorite Scar by Nicolas Ferrero, The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. That is the one I'm most excited to read. Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. I've been hearing good things about this one. They say the audiobook is pretty good. The In Crowd by Charlotte Vassell. I think I have heard of this one as well. Some of the other ones I haven't actually heard of. It looks like a pretty strong shortlist this year. Let's get into the best first novel by an American author. These are the debut novels. We have Twice the Trouble by Ash Clifton, Cold to the Touch by Carrie Hakoda, The Mechanics of Memory by Audrey Lee, A Jewel in the Crown by David Lewis, The President's Lawyer by Lawrence Robbins, and Holy City by Henry Wise. I haven't heard of any of these books. Not at all. So that could be a good category if I haven't heard of any of them. Lesser known books, kind of under the radar mysteries, maybe things we haven't heard of. That could be a fun one. Then we have the best paperback original. So these are the books that came out in paperback first. They did not come out in hardcover. We have The Paris Widow by Kimberly Bell. That is an author I'm familiar with. The Vacancy in Room 10 by Serafina Nova Glass. I read one of her novels last year and absolutely loved it, so I'm intrigued by this book, by this category. Shell Games by Bonnie Kistler. A Forgotten Kill by Isabel Maldonado. And The Road to Heaven by Alexis Stefanovich Thompson. This actually looks like a pretty interesting category as well. There are some authors that I'm familiar with. I've read one or two of their books, but there are several in here that are not familiar to me. I think these are also going to be kind of under the radar mysteries too, lesser known ones. If you want to check out the entire list of nominees, I would encourage you to go to the edgarawards.com and look at all of them for yourself. I'm going to take a quick peek at the Lillian Jackson Braun Memorial Award. So we have 5 books in this category. The Murders in Great Diddling by Katrina Bival. Death and Fromage by Ian Moore. Booked for Murder by P.J. Nelson. That one sounds pretty good. I mean, I don't know. Sounds like books and murder. I'm in. Murder on Devil's Pond by Ayla Rose. And The Treasure Hunters Club by Tom Ryan. I need to figure out what I'm going to be doing with these books. Which ones sound the best to me? I cannot read all of these categories. I don't even know if I want to read any of them because I am supposed to be reading my own books, but I don't have any of these books on my shelf. Let's be real and honest about that. I spent a little time reading through the blurbs and kind of getting a better idea of what all the different books are about, trying to come up with a plan for how I want to read through the Edgars this year. In the past, I have done variations of reading the winners. I've read the best novel category, the best debut category, the best paperback original category. And this year, because I am trying to read through my own shelves, I'm really struggling with how I want to interact with the Edgar Awards. So the novels in the best novel category, we have a fantasy mystery mashup, a queer historical novel, a dinner party gone wrong, a violent road trip bent on revenge, kids missing from a summer camp, a true crime podcast weeding out the lies, and rich people behaving badly. There are 3 books in this category that are part of a series, and 2 of those 3 are the second book in the series, which is always a little bit frustrating for me because I like to read series in order, so it makes reading the Edgars a little bit complicated when they do have the second book of the series as a nomination. 3 of the 7 books in this category are over 400 pages long, and there, again, are 7 books in this category, so that's a big time commitment. The books I am most excited about in this category are The God of the Woods, Things Don't Break on Their Own, and Rough Trade. The ones that don't really interest me as much are The Tainted Cup and My Favorite Scar. I don't read a lot of fantasy, and revenge books are not really my thing either, though these ones could change my mind if I decide to read through this category. Now, for the best debut by an American author, we have an array of different kinds of books. Star athletes turned private investigators searching for missing persons, detectives teaming up with wildlife experts to hunt down a serial killer, a sci-fi mystery mashup, a historical spy caper, a presidential legal thriller, and an unpredictable buddy novel featuring a disgraced deputy sheriff and a private investigator in Southern Virginia. The books that intrigue me the most in the best debut category are The Mechanics of Memory and Holy City. These 2 books seem like they might be doing something interesting and unique with the genre. The ones that don't really interest me are Twice Trouble and The President's Lawyer. These are just subgenres of the mystery genre that I don't really read. The gritty PI novel and the legal thriller. I just don't really spend a lot of time with that subgenre, so those types of stories don't really interest me. Though again, maybe these two would change my mind. Now, the best paperback original category is pretty thriller heavy, which I do like a good thriller. There are a lot of dark secrets being uncovered, a lot of marriages being thrown into chaos. We've got more rich people behaving badly, more detectives tracking down serial killers, and a noir-style mystery set in the 1960s. I really love a well-done noir-style mystery, so The Road to Heaven in this category really intrigues me, as does The Vacancy in Room 10, because I have read a book by Serafina Novaglass before that I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed her style and her way of delivering a thriller, and so I am very intrigued by this new concept from her. Because I don't really like reading series books out of order, and I'm not really into kind of the serial killer genre right now, the book that least interests me in this category is A Forgotten Kill. The author does seem to be one of the more diverse writers in the list, this category, as well as the entirety of the Edgar Award nominees. And so it's possible that this book might do something different and unique and interesting, tell a different kind of story than what I'm used to seeing the serial killer genre. I just wish that it wasn't the second book in the series, so this might be a series that I have to check out later. Start with the first one, come back to this one at some point in the future. Finally, for the Lillian Jackson Braun Memorial Award, in this category we find a lot of cozy tropes that cozy mystery readers love, including small towns, small villages, quirky neighbors, old Victorian mansions, bookstores being renovated, obviously a dash of murder. But this year there's also some pirate lore, some goat cheese supplier issues, and treasure hunts. The books I'm most excited about in this category are The Treasure Hunters Club and The Murder in Great Diddling. They seem to stand out a little bit from the rest in terms of setting and story and where they might be headed with their cozy vibes. But also I love a good moved back to my small town to renovate the old Victorian mansion into a bed and breakfast. I love those types of books, so honestly this entire category just looks incredibly good to me. One thing I'm a little disappointed in with these four categories, and again, I didn't go through every single category, every single nomination from the Edgar Awards, but just this sampling from the four that I'm talking about in this video, it is not a very diverse list. There are a lot of white authors on this list, very few writers of color. From what I can tell, there is not a lot of queer representation, not a lot of disability representation. Those may be found inside the book more. Sometimes those are not so obvious as the race, ethnicity, heritage of an author. But on the surface, this just does not look like a very diverse list of nominees. In the past, we have seen more writers of color, kind of a more diverse selection, and so I'm a little bit disappointed in the nominees this year, especially like the cozy mysteries section. That's just all white authors is what it looks like. Maybe that is a genre that is heavy in less diverse authors, but some of my favorite cozy mysteries are from writers of color who are doing unique and interesting things with the genre and kind of spinning the tropes around and making them their own. I really like to see that happening in the mystery genre, especially if a book is a nominee for an award like the Edgar Awards. So we'll see. I'm gonna dive into some of these. I want to know which category interests you most. It can be one of the four that I've talked about in this video, or if you are looking through the other categories on the Edgar Awards website, maybe one of those strike your fancy. I would love to know if you were going to be reading through one of these categories and picking the winner, which one would you want to read? Is there a category that you would like to see me read through? I think I have a plan for what I'm going to do with this year's Edgars, but I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to wait and find out. Be on the lookout for another Edgar Award video sometime in the future. This may be the year that my luck changes and I guess one of the winners of the Edgar Awards. The actual award ceremony is in May 1st, I believe, May 1st or 2nd. The beginning of May is when they announce the winners. So we do have a little bit of time to read through the nominees. If you're going to read any of these books, let me know in the comments which ones you're excited about reading. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.